right, so here we are. You have your copper flute all set up. You know, it's like an Indiana Jones style whip slash hookah slash looking thing. Let's make some music. So the first thing to look at is what notes are we playing? Or is it the first thing to look at? Now it's tempting to say what note goes where, you know, I want to play to this whatever backing track. What key is it in? What are the notes? What are this? What are that? And I would just caution against that because while that is definitely a big part of it, it's not all of it. And even if you don't know any music theory at all, we're still going to dive into this in a way that you can start playing melodies, playing music, and creating stuff that you are proud of and that hopefully resonates with you. So the first thing is, where do your fingers go? So I'm going to be playing with this pretty much the whole time because then I can pull my hands up and show you right here. So where do the fingers go? Well, your right hand, your pinky is going to go there, and you're going to hold just behind, you know, somewhere behind your finger. Really, it's about what's comfortable to you. So on this, it's your ring finger and up, and then finally on the back, your thumb. Now for the most part, and the way that we're going to talk about this right now, this finger and this finger, so your middle finger on this hand and your ring finger on this hand, are just going to stay there. Now, what's nice for a couple things, one of the reasons is it gives you an anchor to always be holding on your flute onto both sides with, right? Because you'll always have a thumb on this side. You'll always have these two fingers on this side. And the other nice thing is, as long as you have those two fingers down, every note you play will be right. They will all work with each other. So, every single note there works no matter what note I play. As long as I have those two fingers down, they'll all sound, nothing's going to sound like, what was that? Which is good because this is what this means is even if you don't have a lick of quote unquote musical background, you can just start blowing. Right? And start making music, start expressing yourself, start creating. But before we get to that point, if you have never played a flute before, then one of the things that you're probably going to run into is stuff like this. And you're going, what the heck? I feel like I have all my fingers down. Like, why is it still making that noise? Okay, so it's super common. Even myself, when I first started flute, I ran into this. It's no big deal. And it's just little air leaks. And the way you're going to remedy that, and I've been in my shop all morning, so if my hands are dirty, I apologize. Been building some flutes. But the way you're going to remedy that is you're going to start in the back and just put your thumb down, okay? Start just there. Okay, well, your thumb's working, right? There's no squeak there, so you must have your thumb correct. And you're going to work your way all the way down. Uh-oh, what's that sound? Maybe I don't have my finger correct there. And so you're going to look closer. This is one of my favorite pieces of advice to my son, is just because it's the best advice that I have to myself, is slow down and look closer. And that can pretty much solve most problems that you have, whether it's a squeaking flute or a serious life problem. Slow it down and just take a lot closer look. And so right here, even though I may think that I have my fingers down, something's saying, no, you don't. And so if I really look close there, I might realize, oh, I've got a little crack back there. You know, I thought that I had that covered, but I don't. And so sure enough, so once you have your fingers there, initially, some of your time is going to be spent developing what's called muscle memory. And that means your fingers know when they're covering the hole. Okay, so you're going to have a lot of squeaks and squeals, maybe at first, but don't get discouraged because, again, I had it, other people have it. It's perfectly normal. It's just your fingers getting used to being where they're at. Now, the cool thing about a keyless flute like this, by key, I mean like you'd see on like a classical flute, where there's a piece of metal that you're touching rather than closing a hole, is you can feel it on your fingertips. And so if you're using the pads of your fingers, you can hopefully feel when you're closing the whole thing as well. And you can, even if you're not playing, let's say it's late or who knows, baby sleeping or I don't know, partner sleeping, whatever, you can still be practicing this. And what am I doing? I'm just moving my fingers around. I'm just moving my fingers around and still going right back to where they're supposed to go. Okay. You don't have to do that. You can just play. It will definitely be something that you get better at as you play. But for example, when I was first learning guitar, I learned it extremely fast because I would sit there and it didn't matter if I was playing or not, didn't matter what I was doing. If I didn't need my hands for it, I was just changing my finger back and forth between chord shapes so that I would build that muscle memory. Because I knew that was a mountain that I had to get over. I had to climb that mountain first so that my fingers knew where to go before I could start better expressing myself on the guitar. And it's the same thing here. There's this, now this is not a mountain, thankfully. these are not chord shapes. These are just having your fingers on a hole. But, it's that first little hill is just getting your fingers down and making sure that they're covering everything. So that is the lesson that I would have for you right now is this. Slow down, look closer, okay? Even at your playing, it's you want to just jump right in and just be playing whatever you have up here, and that's totally understandable. That's good, that's healthy. You want to be inspired like that. But you also want to take the path that leads you to being able to express that inspiration properly. And that is learning where to put your fingers and knowing right away how to have them back there.